Hey folks, James Abrinio coming to you from Abrinio Law. And in this video, let's talk about whether or not if you were involved in a car crash here in Virginia and you happen to not be wearing your seatbelt, does that constitute contributory negligence under Virginia law, thereby barring your claim? Now, if you followed my YouTube channel, if you've seen some of the information we put out, we talk about contributory negligence a lot. And essentially what that rule says is that if you are an injured victim in a car accident, but also other types of personal injury claims here in Virginia, and you're found to be just 1% at fault for your accident, and the other party, the defendant, the person that caused your injury, is 99% at fault. If you're found to contribute at all to the accident, well, then you lose. You're barred from recovery. A jury cannot issue you a dollar. This is a very archaic rule. It's one, I think we're one of like 3 states in the country that actually apply this rule. So oftentimes a question about whether my client was wearing a seatbelt or not comes up. A lot of times we're dealing with adjusters, insurance adjusters, and they will imply that or they'll talk about that. And I think a lot of times the adjusters aren't from Virginia. They know about our contributory negligence law, so they want to know, hey, or they imply that this is going to essentially hurt my client's case, their claim, because there's an argument that my client may or may not have been wearing a seatbelt. So the answer to this is pretty straightforward, and it's, let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And the answer straightforward is no. If you weren't wearing your seatbelt in a car accident here in Virginia, that does not constitute contributory negligence in Virginia. Okay, so it will not bar your claim. And where I get this information from is if you look at Virginia Code section 46.2-1094, occupants of front seats of motor vehicles are required to use safety laps, belts, and harnesses. So if you look at this statute and you say, well, James, this seems to require a seatbelt. Actually, if you look at subsection D, and this is, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this for you and read it for you. And it says, a violation of this section, meaning not wearing a seatbelt, shall not constitute negligence, be considered in mitigation of damages or whatever nature, be admissible in evidence, or be the subject of comment by counsel in any action for the recovery of damages arising out of the operation, ownership, or maintenance of a vehicle, nor shall anything in the section change existing law, rule, or procedure pertaining to any such civil case. So what did that mean? It's actually even broader than essentially it doesn't constitute contributory negligence. What this statute says is that they're not even allowed to, the defense is not even allowed to bring up the fact that you weren't wearing a seatbelt in both cause of the accident, meaning who was at fault, but also in trying to claim mitigation of damages. So essentially they can't claim, look, if she had been or he had been wearing their seatbelt, they would have been less injured. They wouldn't have suffered that fracture. They wouldn't need that surgery. And when you think about this, it makes a lot of sense. For instance, when victims who are riding a motorcycle are hurt in an accident, the defense doesn't get to say, hey, look, you were driving an inherently dangerous vehicle. Therefore, if you got thrown off your bike and caused you to lose a leg or break your back or whatever the case may be, they can't go and argue that that's the defense. So this is the same concept. Now, whether or not wearing a seatbelt constitutes contributory negligence, I want to be clear, it does not mean that I'm implying that you don't need to wear your seatbelt. In fact, I'm absolutely certain that you do need to wear your seatbelt. It is safety. And let me go ahead and I've written an article, by the way. If you are on my website, you can look at this, where the video is. But I've linked a article from NHTSA, which is essentially the National Safety Transportation Agency. And essentially, NHTSA has estimated that just in 2017, almost 15,000 lives were saved because of seatbelts. So I encourage you to go to our website, check this out. And to be more specific, seatbelt use in passenger vehicles saved an estimated of 14,955 lives. So there is no doubt. I want to be clear that if you're driving a vehicle, if you're a passenger in a vehicle, if you have passengers in your vehicle, not only wear your seatbelt, but encourage your friends, family, passengers, loved ones, make sure they're wearing their seatbelt, because this is the difference between life and death. As a personal injury attorney here at Abrinio Law, we focus on complex injury cases. That means surgeries, broken bones, torn tendons, death even. But I can tell you I would rather forego a case if it meant that somebody was wearing their seatbelt and didn't suffer that devastating injury, didn't suffer that death, if somebody didn't lose a family member or a friend or a significant other. So whenever you're riding in a vehicle here in Virginia, but also anywhere, in my view, always wear your seatbelt. So hopefully this video was useful. If you want to learn more about us, here's my information, website, email address. We also have written a bunch of articles. We've shot in a bunch of videos. So make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, visit our website, and look. Hopefully, if you find this video compelling, share it with friends and family as well. Make sure to take care of your loved ones. We wish you the best, and reach out if you have questions.